Hey guys, Underground Geek here. So typically, the books that I like tend to be books that could be movies. You know, they're very theatrical. They have good dialogue. They have good art. It's very good at telling a story and keeping you like up to date on the pacing and on what's actually happening, and doesn't really confuses you or confuse you. Has a good beginning, middle, and end. Has a good plot. Has a solid stream of information, and for the most part, this series has been that every issue. This is GoGo Power Rangers, not to be confused with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This is on issue 7. Now, I really like this book. However, Parrott, the one that writes for it, he's very good. He's a very big Power Rangers fan, but he's a little bit of an SJW, but not too bad. So this issue was very fun. This is a dance. This is their prom. And like any time there's superheroes and they go to prom, something always happens. So there they all are in their outfits. Very cool. So we start out here. We've got this huge monster. He's awesome. It says a little over 10,000 years ago, the planet of the Pungies. She has her monster destroying things. Now Rita in this book is drawn as a beautiful woman. She's not drawn like the old hag that's in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They're doing a different take on it. This is by Ryan Parrott, and it's illustrated by Dan Mora. Dan Mora is like the Boom Studios magician. He's just awesome at everything. You can see here they're fighting against this huge army. It says, though it certainly explains lack of resistance, my queen. It says, perhaps this creature can explain things. Oh, mercy, show me mercy. It wasn't my fault, I swear. What is your name, Babu? And who did this to your king and his mighty army? I did, curse my stupidity. It was my fault. But I swear it was an accident. When King Batu heard you were approaching, he commanded I create a potion that would make his army indestructible. I told him how dangerous it was, begged him to be careful, but he drank. They all drank, and it turned them to stone. So he actually turned his own army to stone. It says, a potion maker, you say, and a loyal one at that. I'm sorry you will not to die today. I may have a much better use for you. So this is the origin of Babu. This is how he got started. An issue or two back, we got the story of this guy. You know how he was, where he came from, and so now we start out here, and Billy is pretty much trying to get out of being the Power Ranger. He wants Matt, Kimberly's boyfriend, to take over. He says, I'm not a fighter. Newsflash, I know. Out there, if I screw up and cause something to go wrong, people might actually die. One of you guys, maybe. Oh, yeah, that's totally going to happen. Zach, it means it's a risk. We all worry about it. Which is why we have to develop our instincts together. And, you know, that's very good. Jason is very good as a leader. It says, or you find someone who already has those instincts. Someone decisive under pressure. Someone you all know and trust. Someone like Matthew. And they're like, seriously, dude? It says, and you know, Zach and Trini are already worried about Matthew because they know something's off about him. And she says, hold up, you think I'd talk Billy into leaving just so I could get my boyfriend on the team? It says, maybe it's because you've gone Full Metal Jacket. Guys, look, I was late to the fight with Godard because I was on internship interview with Promethea, and I'm going to be honest with everything they're doing with space and robots and all that stuff. I want to be part of it. And he says, Billy, Zordon didn't choose Matt. He chose you. And it wasn't because you were standing next to us at the time. I know, Jason, and if you guys really need me to stay, I will, I promise. But we've all seen how brave Matt can be without powers. And they're all like, you know, they agree. They're like, yeah, there's a reason behind it. And so they're sitting there sparring, having a good time. He takes Jason down because, you know, his ability as a monster is to basically learn all their moves. And so he says, I didn't think you needed any more lessons. Jace, I didn't tell you about Trini to make things awkward. No, of course not. You were just looking out for me. You're the good guy here. Yeah, I mean, sure, but I don't feel like a good guy. And basically what he's saying is he told Jason that Trini's into him. So that's when Zach finally approaches the girl that's been writing him poetry. He finally figured out who it was, and he asked her to the dance. And then we've got Trini here getting ready for the dance tonight. Said he's been weird with me lately. Nice one second, then super formal the next. Am I crazy? And goes, it's probably the dance. Matt's been acting odd too. After the game, he actually swerved when I tried to kiss him. Says, but you know what? This homecoming, dang it, we only get one. She goes, actually 4. I mean, 4 of these. I'm not letting any odd boyness ruin it. And so there they are getting their tuxes and everything. Everybody's got cool tuxes. He's very good at drawing clothes. See how he's able to draw them very tailored? It's hard to do that. And so there's the bad guys. They're going to feed the real Matt. They got him freaking eyeballs and tentacles to feed him. He's able to get a weapon, the fork, and he's talking him into breaking him out. And he's a wimp, so of course he's going to let him. So it's time for the dance. The mom and dad, of course, the dad's been very stern. Here comes the girls. Kimberly and Trini looking very beautiful. Their guy's like, and Matt's trying his best not to show her affection because he's not the real Matt, and he's starting to feel bad. And so here's the deal, though. Billy is taking Trini because Jason is too shy to tell her that he likes her. And so Jason went by himself. He's feeling very awkward. He's sitting in the bathroom. We get some pictures here of the group. Bulk and Skull went with here they are. Bulk and Skull went with 2 girls to the dance. They pretty much talked them into an agreement. But once they got there, they actually started having fun. And the girls liked hanging out with them. But of course, you've got Miss Popularity that's a jerk to Bulk. And it's this whole conspiracy about them two going against each other to see who can win prom king and queen. She talks Bulk into, running away from the challenge. Matt runs from Kimberly and tries to tell her that he is not the real Matt. But he gets interrupted. And so now it's time to determine who's going to win. There's all the characters. And see, he's even good at drawing old people. And that's something I like to talk about. We talked about this before. It's hard to draw an old person, okay? Because what happens a lot of time is, somebody else was talking about this, you end up drawing an old face on a young body. And it's very hard to do that. They do a good job here. Of course, Mean Girl wins. And then Bulk was probably going to win, but he ends up making a fool of himself just so he can get thrown out. So then the real Matt shows up, busts in the door, very movie style, and says, I was abducted by aliens and held captive on the moon. And they're like, what? Say, what? And then the fake Matt runs away, and now they know something's up. They're after him. He calls out to Repulsa, and she tells him it's time to use what you've learned. And that's when Jason totally whops him in the face and is standing there all epically. He's like, going somewhere, Matthew. He morphs. It's on. The rest of the team morphs. But of course, Kimberly is ticked at this point. She's been betrayed. She shoots him. He says, it's time I show you my disguise. And he says, Rangers, I'm not like the other putties. I know what I am. I was made to befriend you and destroy you. How huge of a creature he is. Some kind of praying mammoth or praying mantis, like a mimic, You get the creature there with all the faces. Now at this point, they want to fight him. They think he's an enemy, but he doesn't necessarily want to fight them anymore. He's actually befriended them at this point, and he feels bad for what he's done. But he's not the real Matt. So yeah, you've got that aspect. And that's going to go right into this new series called Shattered Grid. It's an arc between both series. It's going to begin issue 25 of this other series. And so it should be starting soon in this series as well. And it's going to tie them in together, which is awesome. So yeah, I mean, this book is really good so far. I mean, you notice there wasn't even that much fighting, but it kept you very entertained like a movie would, or a TV show like the actual Power Rangers. And you could relate to all the characters. They all had their own personality. And you actually take the time to make Jason a good leader. You take Billy to make him the overthinker. Trini is the smart but shy girl. Kimberly is the outgoing, popular girl. And then you have Zach is the good-looking ladies' man. I mean, it's very good. I like all these aspects. You even make Bulk and Skull entertaining. I mean, he takes time to put a little bit of yellow in Trini's hair and a little bit of pink in Kimberly's hair to distinguish them, to make them, to show that they are which Power Ranger they are. They have cool outfits. I mean, it's very fun. He even draws the monsters very well. And what everybody wants is the Power Rangers in the suit. You know, you want them in the suit every issue. That's mandatory. And so he actually takes the time to draw them, you know, make sure that they're morphed and that they're doing something awesome, so as to point out the fact that they are Power Rangers. Nothing gets on my nerves worse than when you have a story like Power Rangers, Wolverine, or something like that, and they're in regular clothes and they don't fight somebody. You know, that just blows my mind that you would waste an issue like that. Take 5 minutes out of your time to do a good scene like this right here with the monster and the good guys like this. Then you set up the epicness of the next issue where they're going to be fighting him. So yeah, very good issue. Definitely jump on this because it's fixing to tie in. You're fixing to get right into a new arc with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So if you want to read both series, now's the time to get on it. But Ryan Parrott did it and Dan Moore did the arts. Very good. Definitely check it out. Thanks for watching the video. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. It's a new comic book day today, so make sure you get out there and get the new issues. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you later. Underground Geek out.